being in this line of work. When you find good people in this world,
Dude.
you really got to hold on to them. Whether it's your relationships, whether it's family, friends, co-workers that you could trust. Good people in your life really, really matter. You know, and when I started in my line of work, well, I've been making music since 2006, but when I got around the wrestling game in 2014, I couldn't have imagined everything that has happened and meeting the great people as in yourself, Swerve, and other people that I've met. Because all you hear is the horror stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you hear. And I'm not saying there aren't horror stories in this television stuff you read, you see, YouTube. All you hear is the horror stories. But there's good people that you meet in this line of work and life that I wouldn't have dreamed of meeting. You know what I mean? In the sense of what I've been able to accomplish, what you've been able to accomplish. Who are the shout out to some of the people? Excuse me. Give a shout out to some of the people, not only in your line of work, but in life, that has really helped you shape the person who you are today. Who are some of the people, even some of your coworkers, some of your great friends, who are some of the people that has really helped shape you as Aubrey Edwards, who you are as a person?
So on that note, just before I answer your question,
sure.
I think we hear about the horror stories because as humans, we love gossip.
Yes, we attract to the negativity. It's more the story.
It's always more fun to talk about the things that didn't go right than to talk about the things that went right.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why we hear those stories a lot. So I really like that we're doing this and we're praising people. I don't think he gets enough credit for being as great as he is, but our senior official, Paul Turner, is just an excellent human being. He is not only just like sunshine to be around, he's an excellent referee. He's just by the book. He still gets a little bit of his personality out. He's great. But his job as senior official is to assign referees to matches. And he is very good about making sure we all get to do something cool. He could very easily in his position take this title match, take the main event, do this, blah, blah, blah. Like whatever. He could be very, very choosy because we've all sort of experienced working with those people that are just me, and not you.
Yeah, not delegators.
Paul is definitely the guy that builds up the whole team. That it's like, okay, you had a light night on TV, you're going to get something cool next time. Like Forbidden Door, I only had one match at the pay-per-view. He made sure I got real cool stuff at Wembley. Made sure that I got the exact stuff I wanted at Wembley because he knew it was important to me. He's like, yeah, cool, you kind of didn't do this thing, but like we're going to make sure that like your night is made here. But it happens on a week-to-week basis at TV. Like, you know that he can depend on you for the thing he's putting you in. And he's giving people opportunities as they earn them. As we've got these new guys coming up, they're getting spots and opportunities like, cool, this is your first title match on this belt. This is your first main event on this television show. And it's recognizing stuff. And then he's like, hey, how cool did that feel? And he just wants you to like experience how cool this is. And seeing people talk about him in a positive light brings me joy because he represents our entire ref team. So anytime that he does something great, I feel proud of him. I feel proud of our referees. I feel proud of our company. And I think Paul's just a freaking awesome guy.
So I have to bring this up too, and I always ask this question for every guest that I have. How do you protect your peace?
Learning how to say no. So you had mentioned the like being really nice and going out of your way for people.
You experience the same thing?
There's a point where that backfires, and I learned that really. I should have learned it earlier, but I've learned it over and over again, where you overcommit yourself.
Yes, Lord.
Because we want to do everything, but we can't do everything because we don't have the time. And it's understanding that you have a cup, and that cup can only be so full. And you have to do things to take the contents out of that cup so you can fit more things in. So there's a lot of times where I'll want to do something and I want to help somebody out, but I have to be straightforward and honest with them and say, look, I could help you out, but I don't really have the time to. And I'm being honest with you as a friend because I don't want to commit to something that I can't give the effort to.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. It's the first time I said this, but I'm going to be honest with you in the walks of life that I suffered and I just recently started getting over it, from winner's guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Where, for anybody who doesn't know what this is, I know a lot of us that are empaths are very, good, well-nurtured and sold people that like to give back and have good hearts and don't do people wrong. You go through winner's guilt where you're chosen. You're the chosen one. You're one of the chosen.
Yep.
And, whether it's you only, the blessing only comes through your eyes and your vision because that's what's meant for you. So when you win, you start feeling not bad, but you start feeling like you got to help everybody because you feel guilty, not guilty that you're in the position, but like you want to help everybody because you're in that position. But
it's like a subset of imposter syndrome.
Yes. The problem with that, though, because there's always a yin and a yang, a plus and a delta to this. The minus to this is that you could be interfering with people's lesson and their blessings and their karmic situations if you try to do too much for them. You could be interrupting that by trying to just directly put them in a position. It's like, nah, they got to work for it. They have to figure out their own way. Now, if you can give a helping hand, make a connect or a phone call that can help somebody, you helped.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to overextend. So I think with the winner's guilt that I experienced was understanding to say, hey, I don't have to feel bad for being in this position because one, this was what I was called for. And two, that this is what my goal and my blessings are in my direction. But if you interfere with everybody and try to do too much with that cup, you're going to empty it for people that needs to have their own journey in their own situations,